Kurdish military groups in Syria and Iraq are engaged in a bitter ground war against IS. They're widely recognised as the most effective fighting force against the jihadists, or Daesh. But this is also considered to be a socialist movement, establishing a system of democracy in this troubled region. And thanks to social media, would-be fighters from the UK have been able to make contact and join them.
My name is Aidan Aslan. Kurdish name is Rojat Rojava. I'm from the United Kingdom.
Those who've left the comforts of Britain to take up arms here in Syria include a former chef, an IT worker and a care assistant. But legally this is a grey area.
Some of those who return after fighting against IS are now being arrested by counter-terror police when they arrive back on UK soil. So is fighting abroad for anyone apart from the British Army something the UK should outlaw?
I've come to meet John Harding, who's fought in Syria twice and became the commander of a medical unit helping Kurds injured in battle.
I'm not there to kill people, I'm there to liberate. I believe that everybody's got a right to live freely. Daesh are taking that right away from people. I, along with other people, are protecting that right.
And have you killed people?
Yeah. You don't get any pleasure from it. Well, I don't get any pleasure from it. But it's necessary, you know.
When John returned a few weeks ago, he was detained at the airport and says he's been told he's under investigation by counter-terror police.
I was asked to speak to a couple of officers from Special Branch. They were questioning me under suspicion of preparing for acts of terrorism.
Do you think they're justified?
Well, no. I think they have to make sure that they're not coming back to carry on the war. But I don't think it takes a lot to do that. There would be no need for this waste of public funds and police resources.
The YPG are military units formed to defend the Kurdish region in Syria known as Rojava. It's difficult to verify numbers, but the YPG itself says hundreds of Western volunteers from many different countries have fought with them. The YPG is not a prescribed terror group in the UK, but it is considered a terror organisation by Turkey.
The difficulty from the point of view of MI5 and the counter-terrorist police is that the YPG has links to a similar organisation called the PKK, which is classed by the European Union, the United States and ourselves as a terrorist organisation. You know, before 2013, David Cameron himself was not sure whom we ought to support. It's become okay to support the Kurds. They're very brave people, but you kind of break a taboo, it's a barrier to kill other people. So it's a very difficult one.
The first time I went home, the British police, they arrested me and accused me of terrorism for fighting against Daesh.
When Aidan Aslan from Nottinghamshire spent months on bail after his return last year, his local Conservative MP, Robert Jenrick, called him brave and urged police to treat him sympathetically.
If this is something that I believe in, then I need to do it.
And Kimmy Taylor, the first British woman fighting with the Kurds, says her family have now been told they could be prosecuted.
There's clear warnings from the government that British fighters in Syria risk breaking counter-terror laws whichever side they're on. But evidence shows that's unlikely to put off those who continue to be determined to go.
Whatever measure you take, as long as there is a problem there, as long as there is a war there, as long as there is an injustice being done, there are a lot of humanitarian people who would choose to go.
And John Harding is already planning to head back. There are other ways to help. Why do this? Is it right?
If fighting alongside the Kurds is breaking UK terror laws, then the government's guilty of it. They've publicly said that the Kurds are our biggest allies in the fight against ISIS, and it's the right thing to do.